Carl Schlyter, there is a big problem that concerns European citizens from Portugal to Poland, from Greece to your country, to Sweden. There are killings of stray dogs in Romania that happen every day. Every day there are atrocious photographs. Every day people are upset and concerned because it overwhelms the social media, for example, now. It overwhelms the letters from the citizens, and it has an enormous political impact on the whole European family, because Europeans say, do they really belong to European Union? Do they really respect our values, the Romanians? So what's the answer? Because we know that the Parliament issued already 3 letters to President Basescy, and there is no result.
No, and I co-signed those letters. And it's really strange that they don't realize, if you consider this to be a local Romanian issue, they should quickly realize that is not the case. This is about universal values, how you treat defenseless animals, and what kind of policies you put in place so that you don't constantly have new dogs on the streets. But when people buy animals, normally you would take care of them and keep them. And if you start to have stray dogs, the logical thing to do was to put them in shelters and to say to people, you can have a dog that you can love, come and get it here, take care of this dog, and it normally works. That's exactly how it works at home for me. And what we see now is a mass killing of dogs in very brutal ways, and you have seen many pictures. And imagine, this is a local issue in Romania that I have received hundreds of emails, and not only from Romanians, people from other European countries have seen these pictures. So this is extremely negatively affecting the image of Romania as a country, and also violating the basic conventions that we have been all subscribing to when we joined the European Union. And that is how to treat animals.
But do you think it will have really an impact? Because there are a lot of problems, for example, with Roma people in France now, and French are against letting Romanians to join Schengen fully, from the beginning of next year. There is a big problem of how they realize that Roma are very different, actually. They have their camps, etc. But these have also large implications that European Union crumbles, because they say there is such a different culture in Romania that we don't want to have them on our doorsteps. Do you think that people really in Romania, like President Basescy, they realize that there are very heavy political consequences? Because people in the world of digital media, they see it. We have videos, we have photographs every day. And do they realize that they undermine the European perspective for their own people?
But if you bring the issue of Roma people inside, in many countries now they have fled because they are so persecuted in Romania. They have been forced to flee to other European countries, and the reason quite often if they are in camps is that they have big problems because of discrimination to find somewhere to live. And this is a problem that is not so much linked to how people reflect on Romania. It's more how Romania treats the Roma people that still stays there that brings also Romania a bad reputation for this issue. But I don't see these as really linked to each other. I think they're two different issues.
Is it cruelty behind it? I think there is a link, because it's a cruelty behind it. So it means that there is a cruelty treating their own citizens, the cruelty treating dogs. So there is an issue of cruelty there, and cruelty is a universal thing. So you can't kill a dog, a helpless dog, and be nice to somebody in a few hours. I think then it doesn't work like that.
Well, if you are cruel to animals and cruel to the people with the least influence in a country, the persons who are already discriminated and weak as influence in the country, then that, I think it was Gandhi who said that the value of a society can be judged by how it treats its weakest individuals. And the Roma people are weak in Romania with little rights, and they are treated appallingly. And then even animal treatment that have no rights. The animals can't speak for themselves, they can't fight for themselves, they depend on universal values. And they are treated extremely appallingly. So maybe there is a link in the sense that whenever somebody is weak, you can press them down and suppress them in Romania. But I think it's not the country culture. I think it's a failed government there who do not bring these values in practice. Because I don't think Romanian people would like to see that in all over the world, the image of Romania is that they treat Roma people poorly, that they treat dogs poorly, that they don't respect human rights or animal rights. That's not the average Romanian value. So the Romanian people has all the interest to influence their government because they must have been put there in place by the people. So I think if the average, we have been writing letters to the president, it hasn't helped. Even if there are many.
Okay, but what the parliament can do, because
the parliament
can
stop European funding if they are not in line with the rules and guidelines, and it's clearly so that if money is diverted to killing dogs in this brutal way, they shouldn't get any funding from the European Union. It's totally clear.
What funds? You mean for agricultural funds or any funds? What kind of funds?
Any funds that can be diverted or anyway linked to animal treatment, they should not get money for that until they prove that they are worth the money for it. And then
but how long will it last? How long will it last? Because
well, the Commission themselves can fine countries for not complying with European regulation. And even if domesticated animals are actually, if they are not in the farm, the European Union does not have much competence. But you know, all the regional funds, city development funds, poverty-related funds and so on, they are linked to how you work in the city, and if they don't follow the European law, you can't have the money. And the Commission themselves have a right to withdraw money or withhold money or ask for fines. And they should really investigate this properly now, because this has become a European issue. It's not a Romanian issue anymore. It's about upholding the values.
What power do you have as an MEP? What can you do? Can you raise questions? Can you confront Commissioner Borg with the issue? And have you done it previously?
Commissioner Borg is informed of this problem. And we have written several letters to the Romanian government. But since that has no effect, we have to make the Romanian people understand that this is a concern of all Europe and force their government to act. That's one link we can do, public debate. And I have been participating in interviews in Romanian media. The second issue we can do is to make sure the Commission puts pressure on Romania that in order to have the funds from the European Union, you must comply with all rules, including animal welfare. And those tools are available to us here to push for.
How quickly can you push this dossier? How quickly can you do something? Because the problem is that we all see this horror every day. Because every day you open your social networks and you see this atrocious photograph.
This is extremely frustrating for me.
Animals swimming in blood and children crying, and it's really you can't believe that it happens in Europe.
Well, it does, but it does happen in Europe today. And yesterday.
Every moment there is.
Unfortunately, also tomorrow. However, because first I thought, well, we write a letter to the president. Maybe he's not aware of the problem. He's well aware of the problem, but nothing happens. So then, I every day have people who are not familiar with this problem, and then when they see it, they contact me. And I say, yes, I have acted. And then, like, well, why doesn't anything happen? And that's where we can't do this alone. The Romanian people must be engaged and say, listen, our government is drawing our country into the mud on this issue, and it's their duty to fix this. And then local people can help by taking care of dogs also. People who want to take care of an animal can help that way. But that's not going to solve the problem, because if the government is not serious about animal welfare, it will continue. It must spread from the top to the bottom. The government must declare clearly, this is not acceptable. I'll give you an example. It was a boy in a city in Sweden this year who tortured a few cats. I think it was between 6 or 8 cats. But he did it in a very gruesome way, and he even got a quite harsh prison sentence.
What is a harsh prison sentence? How many years?
Well, 1.5, which means that he will probably stay 8 months. But that's unusually strong sentence for animal cruelty. But here we are talking about thousands of dogs. And where are the prosecutions for animal cruelty? Where are they?
There is an air frustration. You agreed with that. So do you think that in coming weeks, let's say, something can happen? Because if we wait longer, let's say if we wait until the end of the mandate of this parliament in May, all the dogs would be killed by then.
Yeah.
So there will be no problem anymore.
This is so frustrating with the European Union system that things always take time. So if the Commission has a strong will to act, they can't act without investigating first, and that always takes a certain time. And when they want to act, they have to have the approval of the whole Commission and so on and so on. So even if the Commission would now act as quick as they can, it would still take many weeks.
Thank you very much.